I'm going to make a lamb and black olive shepherd's pie. It's absolutely delicious. And instead of using mince, I'm actually going to use some lamb shoulder. I've cut it into big chunks, but I don't want to wait hours for this recipe, so I'm going to be using the pressure cooker to cook it fast. So we're going to get those slow cook results done fast. What I've also done is steamed my potatoes. So the cook for me also steams. I've just placed the potatoes into a basket, as you can see, and that went into the cook for me and steamed for about 20 minutes. So again, it cooks everything quite fast. I will be mashing these, but we do need to get that meat into the bowl to start searing off to get some colour. So a splash of oil, and this is on the stir fry mode, so we're going to get a really nice sizzle on this. And don't overcrowd this bowl, so we're just going to add half of that lamb. Now we're just going to seal this for a moment on each side. Turn it over, and we want a little bit of colour on it because it means that we're going to get lovely flavour in our stew. So you can see that because that bowl is so hot, it cooks really quickly. So once we've got a little colour, we'll just add a pinch of salt, and then we'll remove it and we'll do the next batch. So we'll just take them out. I think with a stew, you never want to miss out on this stage. It's all about layering flavours with stews, so take your time and get that sealed off. All right, second batch could go in, and we're just going to seal it off quite quickly. So in they go. And this is a recipe where you can change up the meat. If you didn't want to use lamb, it works really well with beef too. All you need to do is use a secondary cut style of beef, so chuck beef would work exactly the same way. And if you cut it in those big 5 centimetre chunks, it'll cook in the same amount of time too. All right, let's turn these ones over. Okay, great. A little colour. And we'll just place them into the same bowl as the other little piece of meat. Right. While that bowl is still hot, we can add our vegetables, all the classic vegetables for a stew, some onion. To that, I'll add some carrot. I like my carrot grated. I don't like those little chunks in there, so it's just my thing. You can chop it if you like, but I love it grated because it just dissolves into the sauce and also thickens it. Some celery, 1 stick of celery, and 2 cloves of garlic that have been roughly chopped. I'll season with a pinch of salt, and just with my tongs, I want to coat everything in the oil. All right, while those vegetables sweat off, let's get on with the potatoes. So in a bowl, I've got a masher ready to go too. We'll add our hot potatoes. You can see all of the steam has pretty much subsided. That's actually a really good thing when you're mashing potatoes. You don't want too much moisture in the potatoes, so just let them steam off and then start mashing while they're still hot. Lots of butter. I'm using some unsalted butter. Going to add about 50 grams. Just cut that into cubes, and then we'll add that. And you can do your mashed potatoes ahead of time because we're not serving it on the side. It's actually going to be on top of it, so it can be done even the day before. It's completely fine. I'm going to give it a bit of an Irish twist here with the white pepper. My Irish friend Colin always adds white pepper to his mashed potato, and he adds quite a lot. So let's make this for him today. And we'll start mashing the potatoes. And once you start to break them up and that butter starts to melt in with our milk. You can warm your milk up, and we'll give that a mash. And you don't want your mashed potato to be too wet. It's not a pomme puree. We want it to be slightly chunky, so we want it to hold its shape as it sits on top of the stew once it's cooked. And don't forget the salt. Mashed potatoes taste great. Mashed potatoes with salt, oh, heaven. All right, that is looking spot on, so we'll just pop that to one side for now. All right, let's have a look at these veggies. Yep, they've softened enough, so we can add a few more ingredients to this. Some thyme and bay leaf. Some orange peel. Now, it might seem a little unusual to put orange and lamb together, but it's a fantastic flavour, very French. So in with a peel, along with some black olives. And to make this super rich, I love the addition of some tomato paste, about a tablespoon. We'll give that a stir. Just cook off that tomato paste very quickly. And some wine. Now, I'm using some white wine, but you could also use some red wine if you want a richer kind of stew. Now, once that starts to come to the boil, which it is, you just want to cook that off for a moment so we don't get that raw wine flavour. We can add some stock. I'm just using some chicken stock, about 500 mils. When you're cooking a stew in a pressure cooker, you don't need as much liquid because it's cooked under pressure. So a lot of the liquid and moisture will stay in and be locked in the pressure cooker. All right, I'll return the meat and we'll just place them into the liquid. And that's stage 1 done. I'm going to lock the pressure cooker and then cook this at a high pressure for about 30 minutes or until that meat is meltingly tender. The stew is cooked, and if the sauce is a little liquidy, all you need to do is just return it on the stir-fry mode and then reduce it so it's thick and rich, just like this. This is just right. Have a look at this meat. When you can grab a spoon and put it through the meat just like that and it falls away, you know that it's perfectly cooked. Love that. So I'll take that sprig of thyme and also that little bit of bay leaf. It's done its job. And now we can start adding the mashed potatoes. So I can just turn off the cook for me now because it's done its job. And what we want to do is add all of this lovely mash on top. So just get big spoonfuls of it and place it around the meat. We're just wanting to cover it up. You can see it's a large capacity bowl. So this is going to feed a big family. There may even be some leftovers. And I'll just get a spatula and just spread that over. So majority of our stew is covered. And what's a shepherd's pie without a little cheese? So we'll add some cheddar cheese over the top. I'm adding a generous amount because I like it extra cheesy. And to melt that cheese, I'm just going to add a crisper lid. It has 4 automatic functions. I'm going to pop this on the grill function, and that's going to grill for about 3 to 4 minutes or until it's bubbly and golden. All right, the cheese is melted, so it's time to plate up. I like to serve this with a little wilted spinach just on the bottom of a shallow bowl like this one. And let's get a generous scoop of this. All the delightful things that I love in a shepherd's pie. Thick, rich stew and lashings of mashed potato with a cheesy top. Classic shepherd's pie done in minimal amount of time, and it has everything you want in there. Meltingly tender meat, loads of mash, and it's extra cheesy.